Well, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are out there in the world. Thought I'd make a little video that I just saw that we're coming to the end of the 6th year of the VIP projector page. 6 years this thing has been running. Wow. So anyway, congratulations to all of us for being in this being in this life that we found ourselves in. Um, yeah, it's been a very interesting 6 years watching the people come and go and share. It's been quite fun. I'm just waking up, so more coffee, more coffee. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to Dunstan for getting people to come out and actually do little video sharing where we actually get to see and hear people and what they're experiencing in this experiment. I think it's just pretty damn cool that we finally got that going on. And so, yeah, I thank you, Dunstan, for getting that set up and for the fireside chats. That's even more cool because the interaction between the people is just quite interesting. This is not going to be a live broadcast because it took me long enough to get the wherewithal to just do a video and share it later. But of course, I'm going to have to look at it and make sure that I don't screw up anything in there. I'm not a 3 anymore, so that shouldn't be the case. Anyway, um, thought I'd share with you why I started that page. God, 6 years ago. I know I've shared it with here and there in the lounge, little bits and pieces of it all, but um, what transpired was that there was I think it was I don't remember what page it was, but there's a couple pages, projector pages that are very serious, very they're there to share the information, and there was no humor, there was no personality involved. It was just sharing of data. And let's see, I started this in 2013. So I don't know, somewhere around 2010, 2011. Um, I wound up sharing a music video that I thought related to projectors, and then a gal from Ireland, she popped in and she shared one, and then a girl from Austria, she popped in and shared one, and all of a sudden we had a dance party going on. It was in the middle of the night for me, and the next day, people were all crabbing about. Uh, yeah, man, this place is a place for learning. This place ain't, this stuff ain't right in here. This ain't right. This ain't right. And so the girl from Ireland, she says, well, fuck you. We'll start our own page. And sure as shit, 2 days later, the projector playground came up, and that was great. It was a place to kind of have fun and just be a little more light kind of deal. And that went on for probably about 2 years. And come to find out, it was the girl from Austria that put the page up. Um, and people started giving her a hard time the way she was running it, and she really didn't have the temperament to be able to deal with what people were saying in there. So all at once, boom, the page is gone, deleted everything. Like I was sitting there and I was like enjoying, I was enjoying the lighter aspects of projectorhood, and so I missed it. And after, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, whatever it was, it was like the thought came into my head. Well, you can start a page. Why don't you start a page? And and I got this splenic hit of yeah, 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 yeah. And of course, the mind kicked in and was saying, "Hey, no, no, that's going to be a lot of work. What the hell's wrong with you? You crazy? Blah 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 blah." So I put it aside, and the next day, like probably about this time during the day, I'm drinking my coffee, and the thought popped back in. Create a page. Yeah, splenic kid. Yeah, pretty loud. Yeah, and then the mind started in, and then it was like, shut up. No, no, no. And I started it. Uh, and I was still answering the mind quite a bit back then, and it was like, it's going to be a lot of work. No, it ain't going to be a lot of work. It'll just be whatever. Well, what if people don't like it? Well, I don't give a shit. It was like, put it up. If they come, they come. And if they don't come, delete it or, do whatever you want to do. So I started the page and immediately had some really cool projectors come in there that kind of helped me with the setup, the theme, all this kind of stuff. So it was fun. It was a pretty interesting time. And I don't know if you'll notice, but up in there in the top of thing, shit, I don't know what it's called. I'm still half asleep, but it still has the the projector playground thing up in the, I think it's the URL. And the reason it had that is that I was gonna just rename it the projector playground, maybe 2 or something like that. And the gal that originally made it, she says, "Oh no, you can't use that name." Yeah, and that was my name. That was my baby, And I went, "Oh, okay," but I couldn't change the URLE thing up on top. I could change the name, and so that's when, in discussions with the few people that were in there, I don't remember who. I don't remember who come up with the VIP lounge, and it was like, yeah, that's cool. And then Gaia over in Israel, she had Mad Hatter kind of graphic-y things, incorporating human design symbols and this and that in there already that she had done, and she said, "How about this?" And the graphics were really cool. A couple of them that are still in there. The main cover page, that's one of her graphics. But anyway, but I kind of vowed that I'm not gonna allow people to treat me like they treated the gal in Austria over there. So that's when I came up with the Evil Queen. That I figured I'm gonna run this page as a dictator, a benevolent dictator, but a dictator nevertheless. That if people didn't adhere to the simple, basic structures that I set up in there, I would have a public beheading to let people know that I'm serious. That this is the way the page is going to run, and don't like it, get out. 3-5, you're a heretic, or you're a whatever, whatever you're doing in there, whatever your makeup is. You better fucking treat people kindly in here, because I'll chop your head off. And so far, it's worked really well. I haven't had that many people come in that I've had to actually have a beheading with. And with that, I've heard that people feel kind of more secure in there, knowing, one, that to the best of my ability, we're all projectors in there, and two, that I'm not going to let people run run over people, um, let their aggressions and their angers and their bitterness come out. And that's a fine line that I run on that because one of the earliest one of the earliest members, Dagmar, hi, if you're listening to this, she kind of tells me what she feels that I'm doing wrong in there, and I really like that because it's like it allows me to take a look at myself and what I'm doing every now and then, just as a double check. And so, thank you, Dagmar, for kind of watching out to see what I'm doing. But one of the things that she mentioned is that people in their not self, we should allow people to be and to voice their not stuffed self in there. And it's like, you can voice your not stuffed self in there until your bitterness or your anger or your grievances get personal and asinine, and that's it. I'm not going to put up with it. That's it's my page. This is the way I run it. You don't like it, get the fuck out. And if you don't go out by yourself, I've got a couple people in here that will take you out. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit about the page. But 2,500 people from all over the world, and their experiences within this experience is so similar. It doesn't matter what country, it doesn't matter which religion you were brought up in, the politics, the anything. It's like, oh my God, people from everywhere, projectors from everywhere wind up going through very similar experiences. And once they get into this experiment, they have similar experiences trying to incorporate this stuff into their lives. It's like, wow, So one of the reasons that I'm going to have a cigarette while we're talking. I'm going to take you with me. One of the reasons, the personal reason that I started that page was that I just don't take in book knowledge. I just have a hard time um, getting the data to go in. And I've always learned by listening, kind of stories, this and that, and that's part of I guess the 1156 thingy. And there's people have pointed out over the years why I'm this way and that way, and human design has pointed out how and why I am, But for me, listening to people's stories and what they're going through and sharing their charts, that gives me a lot more insight into this system. It's like pretty damn cool. That's why, again, I say it's pretty cool that Dunstan has kind of stirred people up and is starting to get them to do videos just like me. Hell, it's the first damn video I've done. I ain't got the balls yet to do one live, but it's a start. I don't know what the neutrinos are today, but I had a couple energy centers lit up yesterday. I imagine it might be the same. Oh, and my head is also lit up too. I'm a 6.2 splenic projector, single definition, indirect light. Things that I pretty much found out on my own 50 years ago. Hence the book that I wrote, Memoirs of an Old Indigo Child, and the second title was Life and Times of a 6.2 Splenic Projector Before Human Design. Don't mind me, I'm sitting here looking at the riverbank, and when something wanders by, I'll be watching that and not looking at you people while I'm talking. So and that's my little ADD mind. Let's see if I can get through this video without forgetting what the hell I'm talking about, which I almost did just now telling you about that. um, but a little bit about me. I wound up finding out about how I operate way back 50, 60 years ago. And the one thing that I kind of try to tell projectors in here is that the thing that I learned, after I got into human design, 2005 or so, that once I had learned to try to follow that splenic hit, which I thought it was just intuition, and once I found out that if I don't wait for an invitation to share with people, it goes nowhere. It's like I learned that shit so long ago. I learned that I'm good at learning systems, and then the rebel boy that I've always been. I learned the system to try to use the system to my own advantage without getting in trouble, which when you're going to live close to the edge, you really need to know where the edge is. If you're going to kind of try to manipulate a system, you really need to know that system to be able to do that without getting into a whole lot of trouble, right? Yeah. But I've had a pretty good life, and ups and downs, this is and that, that 3-stage 6-2 deal. Everything fell into place. Jobs, relationships, places that I've lived. That when I read my chart, the basics of my chart, and I saw, holy shit, I have lived my life pretty much according to how human design said that I should be living my life. It's like, even down to working nights all the time. That I just knew I liked the nighttime, and with that, I actually my diet pretty much consisted of eating in the evening. I might have an egg sandwich in the afternoon as I'm driving to work, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so with that, it's like it's really possible for people to, if they can just get that basic, simple thing down, making decisions according to your data, and just living your strategy and authority, that everything else just kind of starts falling into place. Now, here again, this might just be my specific chart and life that I lived, but holy crap, I lived it the way they said. So, and I would just assume that would run across the board with everybody. It's like we get so involved with, and I've kind of wondered a little bit with the 3 wonderful librarians that we got. Pretty much every day they're coming up with this quote, that quote, a lot of stuff that Ra put out, and a lot of it's the more deeper, heavier kind of stuff that I've wondered if that might not be the best, because when newcomers come in here, they see and hear all this, all the deeper stuff, and I don't know if that might just overwhelm them, clog them down, get into being a data consumer, just. But it is what it is. That's it's like we have people that have been in this thing for a long time, and I'm assuming it might help him, any of them. But it boils down to basically when they put something out, if I get a splenic, yeah, I share it. And there's some stuff that I don't share. So it's back and forth like that. Um, but yeah, it's like the one thing though that this PHS. Some people have been talking about how you really shouldn't get into that until you're well into living your strategy and authority. A time to get in there. And some people say that once you do start living correctly for yourself, that this stuff will kind of just fall into place, that you'll be drawn to the proper place to live, the proper way to eat, the proper blah 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 blah, which could very well be true. But also though, for projectors, I'm kind of thinking it might be a good thing for them to get a little bit of insight of what that PHS stuff, what their PHS stuff is, because it might actually help them decondition a little bit better, because how important food in a place is that where you live. Holy crap, 21 minutes. Anyway, so that's kind of about all I really wanted to say. That, well, thank you guys for all hanging out and being here. I know all 2,500 aren't active in there, and that's okay. We have enough active people in there that when newcomers come in and start asking questions, we have some wonderful people that will answer questions and try to guide them one way or the other. And once you come into a page, into the lounge, you're actually, that's kind of an automatic invite for people to share with you, to interact with you. And so that's kind of a cool thing. But yeah, once again, to be able to see and listen to somebody while they're sharing it, that is just such a cool thing. And in these interactive deals that Dunstan has done, I'm just so amazed that I'm sitting here talking with someone from the other side of the world. I mean, how cool is that? Sitting here in Arizona, up in the high country of Arizona, talking to somebody from England and Italy and anywhere out there. So, all right, I'm going to jump off and kind of watch this thing and see how goofy it looks and sounds, and if it ain't too bad, I'll post it in there. So, thank you all for coming in here. Thank you all for being gentle and peaceful. Yeah, I know you got an evil queen in the back room kind of forcing you to be that way, but it's the way it is. All right.